Well, I hope you are having a good Tuesday today, and welcome to Looking Up. This is something I've started since we have been in this virtual mode, and I hope everybody is having a meaningful Tuesday. There's always so much that's great for us to do and be involved in the simplest places, and that's what we're really looking for in these times. Um, Last week, we voted to participate in the CARES Act program, and thank you all for joining in on the business session to get that done. Having a business meeting with 130 people on the telephone together was certainly a first in my life and one I will not forget. And I didn't say a word, and it probably contributed to a good outcome. Tomorrow evening on our Wednesday sessions, we're starting a little bit different thing. Mike and I are going to be incorporating some interviews with members and other people that we can bring in through video. So you'll be hearing from some of your fellow members and interesting people and good things that are going on. So we look forward to that beginning tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. and hope you will join us for that. Don't forget, stay connected is the key. You can go there and get to everything that we're doing. I want to share a quick thought with you today. I wrote it back in 2009, I think, as a pastor's column, but I'd like to share it with you today. It was right after our Christmas program, and it was right in the midst of the Great Recession of 2008 to, good heavens, it felt like it went on for 4 years. But in the midst of that, we had our Christmas program, and I remember we ended the program that year with the song All Is Well. And that was the final word that we heard as we came to that wonderful conclusion of a beautiful program. The lyrics were written by Wayne Kilpatrick, I'm sorry, and the music was by Michael W. Smith. But it was such a heart-rending song that we heard, and it was so beautiful. And the phrase has come to my mind again, and it brought to mind then the wonderful little writings of a mostly unknown female mystic from England known to us as Julian of Norwich. She had a series of mystical visions of God in her life and spent the last many years of her life in seclusion as an anchorist, one who was devoted to prayer and meditation. And she wrote a little account of her showings, as she called them, or revelations, which were extended meditations on the love of God in a suffering world. She especially sought to try to understand the mystery of Christ's passion and suffering love in a world that had rejected him. This was not an easy time for her to discern God's loving kindness. The Black Death, or Black Plague, as the bubonic plague came to be known, had erupted in China just before her birth and swept across the world, killing a third of humanity in unimaginable suffering. Many people blamed the Jews for the plague, alleging they had conspired to poison all the wells, and Jews were systematically expelled from many countries, and tens of thousands were put to death. And the Hundred Years' War between France and England was underway, bringing a century of constant turmoil and death. And the Muslim advance in Africa of the Moors was halted in Spain. Some indications was that it was a period of terrible drought in many places. And about the time that Julian was born, Europe's largest bank had collapsed in the wake of risky borrowing by the English kings. It was in every way a most inhospitable time. And yet Julian, in one of the most remarkable early pieces of English literature, looked at the world and saw God's mysterious love in our midst. She recorded it in 1393, and in one vision, she saw a little thing the size of a hazelnut, and it was round as a ball. I looked at it with the eye of my understanding and thought, what may this be? And it was generally answered thus: it is all that is made. I marveled, she said, how it might last, for it seemed it might suddenly have sunk into nothing because of its littleness. And I was answered in my understanding, it lasts and ever shall, because God loves it. She worried about all those that did not know Christ and the devastations of sin, but while she was given no answers to her great questions, she was told by God in a vision that whatever God does is done in love. And therefore, she said in very famous words, that all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of thing shall be well. This world lasts and ever shall last because God loves it, and for no other reason. And it is God's desire to love it and reclaim it in love demonstrated in the life of Jesus Christ, which calls us as his people all back to his love again. That love is enough to sustain us, though people continue to deny it, though suffering come, though terrible things happen. It will outlast and ultimately be victorious over all. When I first wrote these words in 2009, I didn't know I was going to need them again, but here we are. Nothing has really changed about God or the way things can suddenly fall apart, or that crises are not the final word, but faith, hope, and love outlast them. Now, that might be a pretty good word for you and me today. And whatever you do or whatever you face, resist the anxious thoughts and remember that in God all shall be well, and all shall be well, and every manner of thing shall be well. Would you pray with me? Eternal God, fill us with trust and hope, not looking at the things around us or under us or above us threatening us, but rather to look within in that simple little vision of your love abiding with us. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. I hope you have a great day today, and hope you'll join me and Mike and others tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock. Same time, not the same place. See you then.